Hey, what's up, Pauly?
Live, really, man?
Really? We're live.
Really?
People asked for it, so here we are.
I think that's the only email I opened was, you guys don't go live. What's with not going live? Like,
you got that email too?
Why aren't you going live? Well, yeah, you gave me access to the account, see?
Oh, that's right, I did.
Don't go looking through the junk file.
Oh, would you subscribe to? Well, we got an awesome show today, man. I'm so excited. Really quickly though, before we jump into that,
what you got?
I want to talk one more time about the awesome giveaway that we got. You know, we're giving away 5-ounce beautiful silver pour. This is a wood pour, nice wood grain on that sucker right there. Really good looking piece. So that's going up to anybody who, all you got to do to qualify. Actually, there's 3 ways that you can win. How? Number 1. Thanks for asking. You go on the Crucible. So it's cruciblelive.com. That's our website. And you just sign up for the mailing list. That's 1 entry. Second entry on Instagram, it's at the Crucible Podcast. That's number 2, right? Third entry you can get in is going to be subscribing to our YouTube channel at the Crucible-Podcast. 3 ways to win. Somebody's going to get it.
Somebody's going to win. 3 ways to win. All that information is in the description below. Well, inside this video there is a description, and all that great information is in that description. You should probably go ahead and do that after the live stream, of course,
when we're done here. Yeah.
And this is, yes, it is. Brandon, what's up, buddy? The Saint, what's up, buddy? We are live. We have a very special guest.
Beyond special, man. This guy is so interesting and intriguing. Lots of cool stuff that he's been through. Great life experience, and I'm actually really fired up to have him on the show.
Yeah, me too. This is one that we talked about early on, and it worked out. Finally worked out.
Yeah.
Busy man. Busy
man. You guys may know him, right?
You may know him. You may not. Let's see. I should have wrote down some numbers. I think I remember one. 1.2 million followers on the TikTok.
His best video has way over 5 million views. I don't know the exact number, but I know it's up there.
I can tell you, I've got 300 and some thousand on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I got a TikTok video with 700,000. That's it. This guy's got
told me that. Yeah. Like mine die after like 310.
Yep.
Just done. Dead in the water.
Let's bring him on. Who do we got?
Bring him up. Click the button. Bring him up. What's he looking at?
I don't know. What
there he is.
Hi guys.
Just looking, man.
I'm going to be selling tonight on my Whatnot auction. I'm actually in my Whatnot studio.
That's one thing I don't have in the description of this video is your Whatnot information, but I will add. I completely forgot about that. I have everything else. And let me tell you, it's a pleasure to meet you. And I read your, what was that called? I just told Husky. Through the Storm.
That story. Yeah.
Through the Storm. Very, very good story. And in this description of the video is his website, pawn.man.store.com. Definitely go there, check out that story, and we are going to be talking about kind of what that story is all about tonight, huh?
Yeah, but I want to start with let's go back to take us back. What got you into precious metals, man?
Well, I got into this business totally randomly. I was basically a failing artist. I was trying to at first succeed as a screenwriter and a movie producer, but I was like ungodly poor, like so poor I didn't have a car. And it just wasn't working out. I got pretty close. I had a bunch of scripts that got into like some major contests. I was in the 2012 Beverly Hills Film Festival. I had a manager in Hollywood. It all kind of... So then I pivoted to books. I became an Uber driver. I got a car. I wrote 2 books about being a driver. They're little vignette stories. Ubered and Ubered 2. I have a special edition out now. It's both books put together. It's like 600 pages, the special edition. And I actually wrote it in my car between rides for the most part on my laptop. But that didn't work. And then I wrote 2 novels about Nazi hunters. It's an ongoing book series. It's called Wolf in the Jungle and then Wolf at the Gate. There's like an elite unit of Jewish American soldiers in the 50s, and escaped Nazis are a national security threat. So they kind of go after, each book's like a different Nazi. So first one, they go after Hitler. He's still alive in the rainforest. He's got like a temple that the Nazis took from the indigenous people. So they do like a Bin Laden raid. And then the second one, there's a mad scientist that has he's made breakthroughs decades ahead of our time. But that didn't work either. So I randomly got a tip from my dad in 2019 that this old guy that had a gold shop was looking for a young person, and I begged him for a job. I was working as a waiter. I was, like I said, just ungodly poor, and I just.
And you're I don't want to cut you out. You're in Minneapolis.
Yeah, that's right. I'm in
Minnesota.
Minnesota. I've been here my whole life. I mean, part of like why the screenwriting thing didn't work out is I refused to move to LA. Fuck LA. I hate LA.
Who likes warm weather?
Yeah, well, it's not that, it's the people.
No, I know.
Paying all that money and being a bunch of vapid assholes. Anyway, so I started working for this old guy, and I like cooked to it like a fish to water, just because my dad's got a background in coins. It clicked with me, and he almost lost his business in the pandemic, and I had promised him, like, I think we should take advantage of social media. So I went to the Pawn Stars store in 2019, shortly after I started working for him, and it was like my big aha moment was you wait outside, there's security, and when you finally get in, they're not selling gold. They're not running a gold business like what I was working at. They're selling information, and they're selling because they made themselves famous, overpriced merchandise. And I thought, wow, that's what you need to do. So the next summer, shortly after the pandemic was kind of, like right around May, June of 2020, I started secretly bringing my camera to the shop when they'd go away for the weekend and leave me in charge. And I'd start making these YouTube videos, and they started getting really popular. And then it was so popular, I had to tell them about it. No, I didn't tell them about it because they fought me on everything I wanted to do, even if it was a good idea. And I was like, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. And I want to see if this works. By it. And so I showed him what I was doing, and the old man liked it. And then he had this like very unpleasant girlfriend that was the bane of my existence, and she hated it. And so I was like, well, how about I translate it to sales? We'll make a TikTok, and I'll start pitching merch. And within like just a few weeks, I was doing more sales through social media than their entire business. And then they went crazy. It's a long, dramatic story, but I ended up going off on my own, and I've now been on my own now for almost 3 years. And just
good stuff, man.
I had 30,000 followers when I left that business, and I have, if you add up all my followers and all my social media, I have almost 2 million now. So
it's for you, man. That's
really well.
That's
awesome, man.
Amazing, really.
So what you're saying is anything you touch turns to gold.
Pun intended. Yeah,
that's good, man. I love it.
Well, I think it was immediately apparent to me how to succeed on social media, because there's so few people in my industry making videos, and like, it's like, my God, this is so interesting. I don't understand why Pawn Stars is scripted. You don't need to script a show that is this interesting. So I have a few different products I put out. TikTok is short videos, mostly educational. Sometimes I sell product on it. And then YouTube is long content. It's basically like Pawn Stars, but I don't show other people on camera unless they do something crazy or act a fool, or then I shame them. But it's like me doing deals with people. The camera's sitting on my desk. You don't see them. You see what they're handing me, and there's like a second camera looking down. And then I do like it's every other week. So the Pawn Man episodes, I have a theme. I give a monologue at the end about whatever subject. So like this past week, we did Japanese coins, currency, the history of the Japanese economy and the money system. Next week is my holiday episode. So we're going to do a holiday theme on collectibles. We do that every year. And then the off weeks are, I call it Between the Pawn. Same thing. You get the deals, but then I kind of give a monologue on how's my week going? What's going on in my life? It's more personal.
Sure.
So we do that. And then of course I have my Whatnot auctions. Whatnot, if you guys don't have it, download it with my code. You can find it on my social medias. You get a free $15. It's live auctions. I was looking at when you guys started, I was looking at coins I'm selling tonight. Like I hold up an item, starting bid $1, and
I've actually sat in on a couple.
They're a lot of fun. They are. I have an exclusive deal with Whatnot. I can't live sell anywhere else.
Oh, nice.
No kidding.
Yeah, nice. I mean they treat me pretty good outside of not like
Slowthorpe76 says he's actually bought some stuff from your live Whatnot sales.
Yeah, it is easy to spend a lot of money on Whatnot. I actually don't participate in other people's auctions because I drunk once spent like $2,000 on auctions. Just like, God, I see why people spend so much money. It's fun and it's easy.
It happens. That's right. You just click a button and there it is. It's yours.
Yeah. But no, so I'm really, really, really busy. It's a small business. I basically had to escape the business I was at. I was being mistreated, and it was like they tried to force me to buy their business for a stupid amount of money. So I kind of hit the ground running, no business plan. I gathered together 80 grand. Half was mine. Half, I got a little bit of money from a bank, and then some followers backed me with short-term high interest loans. And so just with nothing, 80 grand sounds like a lot. You need $250,000 to do what I do. But because of the social media audience, I was able to kind of scrape together and hit the ground running. And yeah, it's been going great, but it's still a small business. I'm not rich. I don't make that much money. I actually lose money on social media with my editor. He's more expensive than what I take in. People think, hey, 1 million followers equals $1 million. That's not true.
No, that's not true at all. That's not true at all.
I got to do the social media, which is a full-time job. And then I got to run my storefront, do the customer service. I do the accounting. I do the packaging because my packager I'm really, really, really busy. I work like 90 hours a week, but I love what I do. And I found success through total accident.
And realistically, it all kind of started with social media. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It sure did. Yeah. I mean, when I walked into the old guy's store, it was like being in a time capsule. I was like, you need to get on the internet, pal, in one way, shape, or form or another. It started with eBay, but it's like we can't only be doing eBay. There's so many more opportunities. Another individual who I wouldn't be doing these videos if I hadn't met this guy, Tommy Haynes, Stackin' NYC on Instagram. Yeah. Really fucking good guy. I reached out to him. So I went to
Tommy out a couple weeks back.
In the summer of 2019, and I reached out to him late summer because I was going to New York to visit friends, and he was there. And I'm like, hey, can I buy you a drink and ask you questions? He's like, I'll do you one better. Come to my apartment, and I'll let you sit in and watch how this guy gave me the keys how to do everything. He taught me how to run a business on social media. I just went back to Minnesota being like, hey, what he's doing, I got to do that too, but with the Pawn Stars thing. And yeah, it's just.
Isn't he great? We had him on the show, like Pauly was just saying, we had him on the show a few weeks back. Yeah.
Oh, you guys did have him. Yeah. This guy bought me lunch, treated me like a king, gave me access to everything. He left me alone in a couple rooms where he had, I could have stolen. I don't steal, but this guy just trusted me after meeting me and showed me everything. And I was like, dude, you are a fucking gentleman.
He is.
That's what I took in when I kind of first met him the way I met you just a few minutes ago. And that was kind of the first impression I got from him is this is just a stand-up dude. And we had a great conversation with
New York people. That's kind of surprising. I mean, I love going to New York.
But it's got to be his Polish background. It's got to be his Polish background.
Yeah.
So Evan, you actually had a video a couple weeks back where you talked about your father and his backstory, and I found that fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Can you share that with our viewers?
Sure. So my dad should have a book written about him. I actually have a manuscript. I need to work on it. It needs a lot of work, but my dad was a professional martial arts fighter. He was a private detective. He was a stockbroker. Hated all this shit. The martial arts career got ended because he got hit in the shoulder so bad he's got a screw. The private detective thing ended because he was tired of getting shot at and stabbed and all the crazy. And the stockbroker thing ended, even though he's making a lot of money because he just hated it. Right. So he's always had a love of coins, and he thought, well, the coin market is starting to take off. I know a lot about this. His specialty is Morgan silver dollars, which are probably the most collectible, most recognized coin the U.S. Mint has ever produced. So he started working for somebody else, actually very similar to my story. And the person that he was working for, the more money he made this guy, the crazier this guy got, and the more hostile this guy got. And my dad noticed certain Morgan silver dollars have an attribute, like the top 1% of 1% of 1%. They have mirror-like qualities in the field, as it is known, or the background of the coin. So with a coin, I got a small one in front of me. There's a Roosevelt dime. So we see President Roosevelt on the obverse, but this background, gotta make a bad weatherman. This background here, there we go.
Yeah, right
the background is what you call the field. So he noticed certain Morgan silver dollars have a mirror-like quality to them. He called them deep mirror proof-like. And to hit that threshold, they have to be 18 inches out. You can still see your reflection. Now, this process comes from when they make these coins. A coin is made with a die. A blank disc or a planchet is placed in the middle, and the die hits it. When it's a brand new die, it so perfectly impresses upon the planchet that you get this mirror-like quality. So it's a byproduct of a brand new die, or like a well-polished die.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he started selling these at an exorbitant rate, and he quit the coin dealer that he was working for, and he took all of his customers and a bunch of this guy's customers with him. And this guy had fire and fury in him, who he quit from. Now, this guy launched a series of how can I fuck Harold Kail? And it turned into, he had to hire a private investigator, and the private investigator said, well, look, Harold is guaranteeing these coins are going to go up, guaranteeing. And he's got some pretty ridiculous guarantees, and he's using the mail for his business. That's mail fraud. So they brought a case to the postal inspectors, and the postal inspectors took up an indictment because there was a coin boom and bust in the early 80s, like around 83. Coins were getting really expensive, and then they suddenly just, and a lot of people lost a lot of money trusting his investment advice. And so he got nailed. He went to federal prison for, I think they gave him 9 years, but he's Jewish, and he, like, his first couple of weeks in, it was a minimum security prison in Wisconsin, but he complained about his food because he's kosher and they wouldn't give it to him, and he threatened to get the ACLU involved. Next night, 2 federal marshals show up at his cell, black bag him, stick him on a private jet, take him to Springfield, and he's thrown in a maximum security hellhole with like child molesters and murderers, and like he saw like really, 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 really fucked up shit. Like I'm not going to get into some of the things that he saw. Up. But, they massively violated his civil rights. They didn't tell my grandparents where they put him. My grandparents didn't know where he was for 6 months. So they got a prominent Jewish figure here. I think his name was Rabbi Feller. I think he's dead now. But he was friends with a Minnesota senator. And when the senator heard this, was like, what the fuck? And so he intervened, got my dad out of there, like immediately, sent back to Wisconsin. And my dad's sentence was like massively cut down. But when my dad got back to Wisconsin, his new cellmate, guy named Stevie, was involved in a Midwest drug cartel. And so the two of them cooked up a scheme how to launder money with rare coins. And my dad came out, and for the first maybe 8-9 years of my childhood, my dad was like a mafia consigliere. He would go and like launder money for this mafia outfit. He eventually he got out without anything violent happening to us, although we definitely got threatened. It was pretty scary.
I bet.
So yeah, that's my dad's interesting career. And then after that, he made a shit ton of money, and he helped my mom run her makeup studio. My mom is like locally famous. But then my parents lost all their money in 08. So
damn 08.
Yeah. Damn that 08. So go back to the deep mirror proof, like, because was that okay? So you said that this is what he's calling it, right? I mean, you can send coins in NGC and PCGS, and this is what you're asking to get on them, right?
So PCGS, NGC largely exist because of my dad's case.
Okay.
Because there was no authority on grading coins. The government had appraisers looking at his coins and what he was charging, and he had appraisers in himself, and they were worlds apart. Coin grading is so subjective, so you needed a standardized system, and it wasn't in place. But now, not only did all the coins that my dad recommend when he sold them to people, not only are they worth what he said they would be worth now, in many cases, many times more, but deep mirror proof is a recognized thing. My dad is the guy who discovered this, and he was never exonerated. He's a felon because of this, and yet the grade exists. It's terrible.
And this I didn't know, and actually sent off 2 coins to NGC to hopefully have that put on the label, because they are what I believe deep mirror proof like.
And I think any coin collectors watching, I would strongly recommend buying some now. I think we're going to be witnessing a huge growth of these deep mirror proof likes. Now, I learned a few things from my dad. Number one, I never guarantee what shit is going to go up. Like I say, I think, my opinion.
Sure.
But I'm real with people. It's a collector market. Collector markets are dangerous. The bubble can pop at any point in time. See the Beanie Babies. I never use the word investment. That's the I word. I stay the hell away from it. Somebody calls my store wanting to know investing advice, I say, well, stop right there. I don't have a license to sell investing advice. I can give you ideas, I can give you opinions, but drop that I word right now. So just through my dad, I learned to not do that.
So I watched another one of your videos where you were talking about that grading on the 70 scale versus the 10 scale.
Yes, that one was recent.
And you had some very strong insight there. You mind sharing that, rehashing that for us?
So to grade coins, it is a 70-point scale. It was invented by the guy's last name is Sheldon. I forget his. I think it's Henry or something. It's called the Sheldon grading scale. And what it is Sheldon in the late 1930s, early 1940s was looking at coins. He was a numismatist, and he thought a penny in perfect condition, perfect flawless condition, nothing wrong with it, is worth 70 times face value of what a normal coin. And this scale applied to everything to him. Now, the collector market since has massively taken off. There's coins that go for tens of millions of dollars. So that's not necessarily accurate. But the 70-point scale has been well learned and studied for decades, and it's kind of hard. I personally don't sell coins at a grade because you can get in trouble for that. If you overgrade, it's fraud. Right. But I offer opinions on what I think, and that 70-point scale, I spent a lot of time learning that. A lot of numismatists have. It's kind of the threshold of how you become a real pro is if you can, again, don't sell coins at a grade. It's a bad idea. But if you can in your head ballpark where you think it's going to land, because I'm usually right when I send coins in, then, that's a skill, and that's expertise in this field. Now, not everybody gets the 70-point scale. That number is a little queer. Some people just don't, it doesn't click with their brains. And it's a barrier, pardon me, but it's a barrier for dumb people that want to get into coins. And so NGC has implemented a Olympic 10-point scale where, 9.1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Yeah. But that, to me, that completely destroys the 70-point scale. You can't relate these two things very well. What's a 9.9? If you add like MS69, that's not a 9.9. It's a 9.5, 9. Like what?
And you're exactly right. That's the way they're trying to explain it. A 9.9 is a 69.
Yeah, and so what you're doing,
why call it that?
Not only are you ripping away all the tutelage and study that people like myself have undergone to learn the scale, but you're dumbing it down. I'm sorry, but like this is not supposed to be an easy field. This is a hard field to be an expert in coins. And if you want to take the time to learn, then do so. But they're making shortcuts to make it easier for people to call themselves pros. To me, I don't like it. I really, really hope they do away with it. However, unfortunately, it does seem this 10-point scale is starting to gain some traction. People seem to really like it. The video that I put out, I actually got a lot of hate for it. And it's like, no, I think you guys are wrong. And I hope y'all listen to me.
Now you had, I think that was a quarter. I think it was a 1983 proof quarter or something that came back in that whatever scale it was. You did another video where you showed a Morgan silver dollar, and it came back as uncirculated details.
Yep, that was the breath test, which my dad invented.
And that's what it was, the breath test. Because I pulled this one out because I wanted to show you the same thing. This is what I got back a while ago. Yep. So there you go.
Can I see the reverse?
Yeah.
Oh, bummer. Huh. I personally would not have sent that. Did you send that in?
Yeah, I did.
I wouldn't have sent that in because that's kind of a common date, and just I can tell that toning is fake just by looking at it.
And see, I couldn't at the time, and I didn't. I said this is.
But like, yeah, I don't.
I said it's a really nice looking coin. I said I'm just one of the first ones I've sent in. I said, well, let's just see what it comes back as. Didn't know any different. Well, there you go, and there it sits.
Yeah, I mean, as a learning opportunity, there you go. That's what you paid for.
Yeah, right.
I think I need to say this. People watching those, they're known as slabs when they put it in those encapsulated holders. They are not airtight. You keep that in a plastic bag. Do not keep that around moisture. I have dealt with people that bring in coin collections that should be worth 20 grand, but guess what? They had a safe and they live by a swamp, and their basement was really and the coins are rotting in the slabs because they didn't make them airtight. So make sure you do that, especially if you got a really nice coin.
I tell you what, I keep a couple of those damp rids in my safe, 3 of them actually. So it collects moisture from inside of that safe, and every couple of months I got to dump it out because it's full of water. You wouldn't think so, but it is. It's full of water, and you dump it out and change it.
My apprentice, I have a kid working for me. I found him about a year ago. My God, is he the most competent kid on the planet? I'm so lucky.
That's awesome.
He vacuum packs them, and that's doing it to death. That's how you do it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that. Now you talked about an apprentice. How many do you have? Because in your videos we see you, so it's just you and then an apprentice.
Right. I don't show other people. I had a young girl working for me. She was with me at the first place. She was a friend I met in restaurants, and so she worked with me briefly over there. And when I quit, she quit. And she worked for me for about a year, but I had her on camera a little bit, and I'm not going to throw her under the bus. Just some bad shit happened, and I ended up getting rid of her. And it's like people are like, what happened to her? And it's like, well, didn't work out. So now because of that, this is like kind of weird to like go back and look at my old videos and like, who's this other person? Who cares? They're dead. I got eaten by wolves. Didn't leave a single bone left of them. So just for that reason, I don't want to have that happen again. My apprentice sometimes will run my whatnot auctions for me. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I'm pawn man. This is what you're getting. I don't want to introduce other characters, at least not yet.
That's smart.
So why the name again? And I think anybody who knows your background will know, but for those who don't, why the name Pawn Man? Because you're not a pawn man, right?
No, I don't do pawn. It's a pain in the ass. I don't have the money to do it. I don't want to.
I've never done it, right?
No, I've never done it. You got to traffic in firearms, which I don't want to do. Like I'll buy antique guns, 1898 and earlier, but I don't want to deal with modern guns. It's just, I'm a big gun guy. I have a lot of guns. I have a conceal and carry. You see me on the streets of Minneapolis. I got a gun on me, but I don't want to buy and sell. Well, I'll buy them for myself, but I don't want to sell them. So pawn shops, it's just a lot of red tape, a lot of regulation. And with what I do, it's totally Wild West. There's actually right now, there's basically no rules in Minnesota right now because the bullion department has been suspended until further notice because of a lawsuit, which I literally, and this is in one of my old videos, you can go back and watch it. I wrote our governor a letter being like, hey, it's really dumb that you're taxing on bullion. You're dissuading people, at least government bullion in Minnesota was taxed. And I was like, you're dissuading people from investing in like American bullion products. That's not good. Never got a reply. I mean, to be fair, the governor was a little busy dealing with the riots because this was when the city was burning down. But I never got a reply. And I said, hey, like somebody's going to make a stink about this and it's going to cause a mess for you. Sure enough, some crazy doomsday prepper up north sued and won. And so now there are no rules with what I do. There were some rules before, but now there's nothing. Now, I'm not taking advantage of this, but I know other stores are in a way that's like, I don't like that. That's sketchy. So, where's it getting at with this? Oh, pawn shop. So with what I do, there's no red tape. And with a pawn shop, there's a lot of red tape. Now, I got the name Pawn Man because when I first started making videos on YouTube, one of my followers started calling me that. And I was like, that's catchy as shit. I'm gonna run with that name. And like, now I have a licensed trademark.
Right. Nice.
That's awesome, man. So we want to talk about the book.
Okay.
the book.
China. I'm actually
one of those things just waiting for it to come up. Just waiting for it to come
up. Nanjing Massacre, the anniversary was yesterday. So
no kidding.
It's weird. I get a lot of media attention whenever the anniversary comes now. So like right now on my Chinese social media, I picked up like 10,000 followers in the last day.
Hey.
So I'll tell you.
I don't know if you pinned them on your TikTok, but when you bring up your TikTok, that's the first 3 or 4 videos is about this.
Yeah. So to answer your question, not to be like, this is how many views it got. I think it's got 54 million, the original video. It got copied onto Chinese social media when I posted it. Like it just ran away from me overnight. And I've heard it's gotten like 1 billion views in China. Apparently I've never been to China because like I'm not a diplomat. I'm a private citizen. And like this, like I was stirring a geopolitical pot and I like found myself in a position I guess I did ask for it because I made the video, but like it was a total accident. And it's like, shit, I got to be really, really careful with what I do here. So I have not visited China and I'm really careful about like the stuff I post on Chinese social media. I don't do anything about Japan because I don't want to like stir animosity.
Right.
So here's the story. If you guys don't know, I'll give you a quick version of it. So I have a program. You mail me stuff and make a video about buying it, and then I buy it. Like just mail me stuff, and it's called my Remote Deals program. I created it because when I first opened my store, I had like 0 walk-in traffic. It was all stuff on social media. And I was like, well, I need stuff to buy, so I'm going to start getting people to send me stuff, and it became really successful. So August 2022, individual reaches out to me to say they have a book of photos from World War II and some are disturbing. All right, the whole war is disturbing. Send it to me. So I get this book and I flip it open and like, God, this book is like really nice. And like these pictures are like super, super high quality. Yeah, that's the book right there.
Awesome.
And a few pages in, it goes from like stuff from like National Geographic to just like bodies in the streets and butchery. And I'm just like, oh shit. Oh my God. And I see the word Nanking written a bunch and I think, this is the Nanking Massacre. I majored in Japanese studies at the University of Minnesota. The Japanese army covered this shit up like well. A single photo from it, if it's real, authentic, and it's never been, is worth like an insane amount of money. And I'm thinking like, holy crap, I can't afford this. I don't want to buy this. This is blood money. I don't know what to do. I think they should go to a museum. Like there's a lot to take in here. So I sit on the book for a few days and I turn it over in my head. And the owner of the book is like, well, hey, I see you got my property. What are we doing here? So I think, okay, I need to get this into museum's hands. I've never had a museum take me seriously, even despite at the time I had 250,000 followers or thereabouts. And like, I have had other items that belong in museums that advertise to me that I have attempted quietly to get them in and I never get a response back. I've seen prisoner garbs from Auschwitz. People have that. And it's like, why do you have that? Donate that. I don't care if it's worth 10 grand. Make it a tax write-off, but put it in a museum. One of my rules is if it involves genocide, it's blood money. I don't want to make money off of that stuff. Right. So I was my influence to get this in the right place. So I think, okay, well, it's never worked before. How about I make a video that's screaming so loud I get attention? And this day I had taken a lot of Adderall and the app kept crashing as I was trying to make a video and I kept getting more worked up. Like the video that came out was like my 5th or 6th iteration. It had taken me hours. And each time I made this video, I got more fired up. So I kind of accidentally assembled a perfect storm of words into one video, put it out, went out with friends drinking for the night, came back home at like 2 a.m. And I was like, wonder if that got any hits? And I looked at my phone and like, oh shit, this thing completely fucking ran away. It had like 5 million views. I was like, oh my God. And so I went back to my friends because they came back from the bar with me. I'm like, you guys, you need to go. I need to get some sleep. I think I'm going to be on the news tomorrow. And it fucking blew up so fast. I had every journalist under the sun calling me. I had Rolling Stone. I had Newsweek. Business, like all these journalists. My phone's ringing off the hook. And I got Chinese people stopping by my store, hugging me, crying, giving me flowers. Because like the Nanking Massacre, Americans don't know about it. A lot of people don't know about it. It's not taught the same way that the German Holocaust is. So this video accidentally became a tool of education. And this is like one of the most painful things in Chinese history. Well, I'm not going to comment on the geopolitics because again, I got to be so careful here, but use your imagination. Who did it? And they're still really, really, really mad about it. So the weekend goes by. This is Labor Day weekend. And on maybe about a day and a half, 2 days after the video came out, this narrative starts that I was using a war crime to get famous. And this is this elaborate hoax that I put together. And I'm like, oh shit, that's a really damning alley. Oh shit. And I'm like looking into this like, God, I actually see their point because I made a mistake. These photos were not from Nanking. They're from Shanghai. I should have done a Google image search on some of these pictures. And yeah, so most of the photos in the book are real. But it's this guy, he had a camera and he just documented his whole travels across Asia and World War II. But a lot of the photos are souvenirs. I didn't know that they would sell them to sailors of like really, really terrible things. So, it's like, it's my burden of proof to prove that I didn't fake this. And I don't know if I can. And this is getting really scary. I'm getting like the Chinese embassy called me. I was getting threats like on social media. People were messaging my apartment where I live, telling me to watch out. Oh, what's going on here?
You're good.
I'm sorry. This stupid thing just kicked me off. 1 sec here.
You're good on our end.
Yeah, I see you.
1 sec. Sorry. Just
you're good.
Part. What the fuck? Where'd it go? You guys, I'm sorry. Stand by. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, he's still there. So Emil, while he's messing with that, in that story I was telling you about on his website, it's you read that, anybody reads that, you're gonna feel what this guy kind of felt. I guess not even kind of felt, because I don't even know. I mean, you read that story, and we talked about before, what would you do if you had a video explode, right? You and I talking about it. I think we did a podcast on it.
Yep.
He had to go through it.
Oh yeah.
He had to go through it.
And what 5 million is that's a big view count. Like you're semi-famous at that point.
and to tell your friends, time to go, because there's going to be some people knocking at my door and calling me tomorrow about this.
And they sure did.
Yeah, no doubt. That's
Evan, I don't know if you can hear us, but there was one point.
Guys, I'm sorry. It completely kicked me off the screen. I can hear you guys. I just can't see you.
Oh, that's weird.
Gotcha.
Well, we see you clear as day, man. Just like if you never left.
Am I still here in focus?
Yep. Yeah, you're in focus. You're good, man. You can keep rolling.
I'll just give the story.
For some reason, it's kind of slow, but it's good.
So I saw. Sorry, go ahead.
Go on. So the weekend goes by. It's Labor Day weekend, and I'm not gonna say his name. A couple of celebrities made videos about me, and this one D-list piece of shit celebrity made such an inflammatory video about me and my intentions and jumping on this bandwagon. And like, this is where it got really crazy because of this guy's videos. And now it's one of his top videos too. And he, of course, refuses to apologize to me. So like, I had to get a lawyer. I started having like mental breakdowns because it's like, I was under so much fucking pressure. I had to shut my store down because like I had so many random people showing up. I was worried this thing was going to get stolen. And I think to myself, okay, this book, it's got to go to China because this is Chinese history. I have all these Chinese people showing up at my store, telling me that I'm a hero, telling me that like I've educated the world about one of the most painful things to ever happen to their people. And I think, hey, I got to donate it to China. How do I do that? So like the top defense attorney in town, Joe Friedberg, he's like $1,500 an hour, took my case for free. His son is a neighbor of my business, and Joe is familiar with the case. So Joe was my lawyer. Joe helped me reach out to the Chinese embassy. And because I thought, like, what's China? They control all the museums. They control everything. They're the ones to give it to if I want to donate it to them. Mm-hmm. So about 2 months later, their ambassadors flew out. I ended up paying the guy who sent me the book. I gave him $1,000 out of my own money. And I said, look, man, you don't want any part of this crazy. How about I just pay you off and we put this to bed? Okay, fine. So their ambassadors flew out and I donated them the book. I read them a letter explaining I made a mistake, but I wasn't, and I'm not sorry for anything because like I educated people about a genocide. This is like accidentally my crowning achievement in life. So I gave it to them and they gave me a letter of thanks from the Chinese consulate in Chicago. And then they gave me this tea jar, which turned out to be a national gift. And a national gift is only reserved for presidents and countries at large. They don't give them out to individuals like me. So I believe, the first American since Richard Nixon to get one. It's impressive. I have no idea what it's worth. I've been offered a stupid amount of money for it, but I won't sell it. So now I'm a Chinese hero.
You had mentioned that you're not I guess you said something like not a diplomat in China, but I think you kind of would qualify for that status, having been given that kind of gift.
No, I can't ask for it. It's got to come to me, and I got to be just so careful because relations with China are not good. And it's like I got people online still calling me a traitor and saying I should be tried for treason for this. So it's I don't want to mess with that.
Right. Now, I saw you had a video with CCTV footage of somebody who was maybe trying to pop into your Wi-Fi at your shop.
Yeah, so I don't know who that guy was. He's why I shut my store down. He pretended that he had jewelry to sell. He was acting really bizarre. And he was sitting there like asking dumb questions, knocking stuff over. And he's on his phone, obviously like trying to hack into my Wi-Fi. And I kicked him out, and then
he stayed outside in the lot, right? He was still
he took off fast, and somebody said he'd been in his car like rocking for like an hour before coming into my store. So it's like, this is crazy. I'll say this: Japanese nationalists who deny the Nanking massacre are the craziest of the crazy, of the most dangerous, and like I got a target on my back for life because of these people, probably. So I was afraid, and I just was like, hey, no more business for a couple of weeks until we figure this shit out, let things calm down. But even after the fact, I am really fucked up from this. I'm in therapy. It's not fun to be the subject of a viral video that goes that viral and gets picked a million ways from Sunday. I'm sure you guys, you both look old enough. You guys remember Comey 2012?
Enlighten me.
Refresh
It's
me.
one of the most viewed videos of all time. This guy in 2012 made a video trying to get the African warlord Joseph Kony indicted, and the video got like billions of views. And the guy had a complete fucking mental breakdown, and he was like masturbating in a bush like 3 weeks after the video got arrested. So I always thought, like, God, how do you go from being a bell ringer of such good things to you're beating off in a bush? Oh, I totally got it now. Totally got
it now. Well, listen, me and Emil have had this conversation because we both make content, and nothing has ever really, for myself, ever taken off. And not that I ever want something to take off, but wouldn't you want that feeling? I don't know if I want that feeling. I don't know if I want people knocking at my door, or the phone ringing off the hook, or anything crazy like that. You know,
I always wanted it, and then once I got it, I fucking wanted.
That's just it. Yeah. You're living proof of it, you know?
Well, what saddens me is I've made so many other wholesome videos about so many other things that are valuable, educational, and those didn't get half the traction. But again, you know, rewatching the video, I can see how every word that came out of my mouth was a perfect storm. Like I just accidentally assembled something that was so consumable. And I'll tell you guys, right now, I could do it again. Right now, I could make a video that would cut through the internet, and I could probably destabilize an entire region with one video. And I don't want to do that. I want world peace, not what I could do with a video for attention. At that point, I really am falling into what everyone said about me, just grandstanding for fame.
You're not still cruising around town with that vest on, are you?
No, but like I said, I always got the gun on me.
Yeah, no, right, exactly. But I was telling, well, you were goofing around, something happening there, but I was telling Emil that story on your website, basically what you explained here in just a couple minutes, that takes a little while to read, right? And for someone like me who does enjoy something to read, I have to read it once, twice, 3 times to fully take in. And dude, I felt what you were going through just in those words. It's a great story. I mean, the way it's written is a great story. You know, it's not, I don't know how you feel about it, right? You're the weight's off your shoulders still, but I don't know if you're still.
Well, hey, I'm a 4-time author. You know, I got into this because I failed at writing, and I fucking tried my damnedest. And the worst comment I got from that, people were out, boy, you should be an author. Maybe you should write a book or two. Oh, fuck, God, stick a knife in me. You guys, it's amazing with all these followers. I sell so few of my books, and it's just because like people don't like to read it. They don't read.
I tell you what, we just did a show about our top 10 Christmas list, and on that list of mine was a good book to read. So there you go.
Your story, your book sounds like the one about the Jewish that go back and kill Hitler and all that. That sounds it. I mean, I watched Inglourious Bastards, which I think is kind of along the lines of that. But that sounds intriguing. I would watch that, or I'd read that.
I think he said he's signing us a couple.
I mean, I wrote these as at least the first Wolf in the Jungle I wrote to be a movie script. It started as a movie treatment. So,
excuse me.
This is Wolf in the Jungle. This is my Nazi Hunter. This is the first installment. You can get it on Amazon or my website, pawn.man.store.com. And like I said, I wrote a sequel, Wolf at the Gate. The guy who does my covers is the character director on the show Archer. He's one of my best friends. That's him. Nice. He literally made himself a villain just with
he put himself on the cover.
Shameless plug.
David, I'm like,
it's nice, I like it.
To do this, and he gave me the proof. I'm like, David, you made yourself the villain. He's like, oh, this kind of does look like me. And then I got the special edition. So
that's the book you wrote. That's the book you wrote driving.
Bonus content. Yeah, I wrote volume 1 and 2 in my car between rides, like almost exclusively.
Went from not having a car to having an Uber job to writing a book while having an Uber job.
To being an international hero. That's stinking cool, man.
I'd love to go to China. Because relations are so bad, and it would be so easy for me to get drunk and say the wrong thing or do something as a private citizen. You know, if I had government backing, it'd be a little bit better. But I'd have handlers too to be like, don't say this or that. But no, going off on my own, I guarantee you the FBI would grab me the second I stepped off the plane.
Oh, for sure.
I just don't want to fuck with that. By the way, they definitely were outside my building when this was going on. There was a service van.
Of course. That's in your story too.
Yeah, I almost was like, boys, you want to come inside? I'd feel a little safer.
Yeah, I got some coffee.
I got coffee.
I got great coffee at my store. True story.
Evan, tell me, what do you want to be known for?
Actually, not this. This is me being an accidental hero, and I didn't ask for it. And there's a lot more to me than this. I just want to be known for spreading education, for taking what has historically been a very boring field and making it exciting, because I try as hard as I can to do. Now, I don't want to do this forever. I actually, in 10 years, if this goes well and I make enough money, because I am struggling now. Like I said, I am not wealthy. I'm doing okay, but I work 90 hours a week because I have to, because like that's what it requires to keep everything afloat. I don't want to do this forever. I want to go back to my love of making films, and I want to go back to being a movie writer and producer. I want to keep writing books, but I need professional backing behind me, and I still don't have that.
Has anyone reached out to you to do a show, as we've all seen probably on the TV, as a Pawn Star style show? Anybody from any network reached out to you?
I've had 2 producers reached out. I had a deal with one of them, and the guy was just a bonehead. But just in my attempts into getting into Hollywood, I've dealt with a million boneheads. 99% of them are totally full of shit, and this guy was. He had 6 months to sell the show, and 5 months in, I had another producer call me and say that they wanted to maybe pick me up. And he said, the other producer said, buy sell shows like what you do. They are so in right now. And then a month later, when my contract expired with this guy, he goes, yeah, buy sell shows just aren't in right now. And I was like, whatever. You can make more money like with a big following on YouTube. That's the biggest problem I have is my YouTube audience is my smallest audience, despite it being what I consider to be my best content. It's just hard to get people's attention. It's hard to get people to sit down and watch something that's a 20-30 minute thing. They want to see a 1 minute video.
Yep,
but
that's
TikTok doesn't
TikTok
pay
mentality.
YouTube pays very fairly. If I had 3 times my audience on YouTube, I would be making a lot of money, and I wouldn't be stressed out, and I could hire more help. But alas, I have to keep pushing the boulder up the mountain. And if anybody watching is interested in getting into social media, just know you are pushing a boulder up a mountain. You will be pushing it up for years. And the second you go, I'm tired, that boulder's going to roll down and crush you. It's so easy to leave the following. People are so vapid. They come and go. Most of my audience doesn't they watch a few videos. I'm a passing fancy. They don't consume all my content. And on top of that too, I'll give this advice. If you want to make social media videos, being pretty isn't going to do it. That ship sailed in 2012. You need a super niche industry or niche thing to talk about, and you need to have a lot of knowledge about it, or package it in a way that is totally original that nobody has done before. You can, I could, if this failed, I'd sell myself to another business as I can make your business exciting on social media. I know exactly what I'm doing with that. There's a way to present a package of information that is consumable, and I'm kind of a master of doing it.
That you are, man. You got some great content. And I will say that that's probably my biggest takeaway from watching any of your shorts, your TikToks, is that they're all very educational. Yeah, I had known nothing about the Nanking massacre or anything like that, but just in watching, I watched that video when it came out, and I was like, holy crap. Imagine the things that have walked through his door. So, I mean, I know we're kind of running short on time here, but I did want to ask you, any other crazy stuff walk through your door that you can't talk about or that you haven't talked about?
People, when the video was coming out, people were like, how does this bozo with this pawn shop end up with this rare thing? It's like, I had a huge following before. And do you have any idea the shit that has been advertised to me since I started doing this a few years ago? Like I said,
I bet.
Prisoner garbs from Auschwitz, all kinds of weapons, antique weapons, gold coins from medieval times and before. Historical documents. I had a guy last year, I consigned a book of photos from Operation High Jump that were all original. Nobody wanted to buy them because nothing terribly exciting was happening in the photos, but they were all original photos from a classified mission. I get all kinds of intrigue coming through. And that's part of my problem with the store is I'm so busy doing everything. I'm trying to do the social media. It's my number one focus. And yet I have to drop what I'm doing to deal with people walking in, because you never know what somebody has.
Right. Sure.
My profiling is actually pretty good, but sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised with what people whip out. And it's like, where the fuck did you get this? I have, I'm trying right now to get it into a museum. I'm not going to do a TikTok on it because I can see how this will blow up my face. Somebody last week or 2 weeks ago in a deal, they're going through other stuff, and they had at the bottom of all their stuff, a photograph that is original of a man that was murdered in Missouri in 1941. They lynched him and they burned his body in the street.
Oh,
and it's like, I looked at it and I was like, why do you have this? And the guy said, I don't know. My grandpa had it. And that's the answer I hear a lot. Old people have weird stuff that's, it's
stuffed in your attic.
That photo is ungodly expensive. That's blood money. That's exactly the kind of thing I don't want to buy. I want to get in a museum. So I'm trying now to do that. Guess who hasn't been contacted back, even though I've got a copy of the photo? I've reached out to museums. This is definitely an original photo too.
Why is it museums are not getting back a hold of you? Why is that?
Well, the controversy, you know, because there's still controversy that surrounds me. There's still people that think.
But even before that, right? Didn't you talk about before that you tried getting stuff into museums and they just wouldn't give you the time or day? Was that because we're not going to waste our time on this kid?
So that first weekend the video came out, I had every museum wanting to look at it. There were people offering to fly out, and I was like, well, I don't want you to fly out here because, like, if this is a waste of your time, I'm going to feel really bad. But like I had a local guy at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, a doctor of photography lined up, and he completely blew me off. He ghosted me. His assistant called me and said, he's had a scheduling conflict. He can't come there. I'm like, well, can he come tomorrow? No, he indefinitely has a scheduling conflict. Click.
His
and
loss.
It's because of the controversy that was stirred up and this fucking bullshit narrative that I'm just this scam artist asshole using a war crime to get famous. And like some of the conspiracy theories about me are really, really crazy, and they continue to perpetuate. There's a conspiracy theory that the national gift that I got is a knockoff I bought on Amazon. There's a conspiracy theory that fucking Chinese ambassador who you can find on X, he's got like 100,000 with the check mark. There's a conspiracy theory that he's a crisis actor I hired.
Boy.
Here's my favorite one. I'm into Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam, because I'm a huge nerd. I'm Sieg Zeon. I love this, like the Zeon to me, the bad guys in it are kind of my muse. It's for me, it's a symbol of never give up, because that's what their credence is, the Zeon. So I have a special G-Shock watch. It's a Zeon like special edition. It's got the Zeon badges on it. And there's people that think because I wear a villain watch that I'm dog whistling, that I've been the villain the whole time, and it's happening in front of all of you in plain sight. Oh, get fucked. Get rightly fucked and jump off a cliff. I gotta be stupid. So, you know, this shit still perpetuates. And as a result of that, you know, museums still don't want anything to do with me.
They're lost, man. I almost feel like that could be your thing, is these like rare, you know, things that belong in museums.
It's like, you guys want to know why I have stress, why I smoke, why I drink, because I'm going through all this crazy shit. So if people want to read the essay that I wrote, it's 5,000 words. I wrote it to sell it to a periodical or a magazine, because every magazine or newspaper threw me under the bus, attacked me, went with this narrative that it's a hoax, or insinuated I was hoaxing it. And then on the back end, I got zero press coverage, like almost none. A few outlets vindicated me. BuzzFeed Unsolved, NPR's podcast Endless Thread did an episode on me that vindicated me. And then the New Yorker didn't vindicate me, but the New Yorker article, Simon Parkin, I think is the journalist's name, did not do me dirty. Didn't walk me off a cliff, because a lot of these journalists, they asked me questions and framed it like they were doing like a great piece on me, and it turned out it was a hit piece. And they didn't tell me that they had a historian to, you know, lined up to talk after me to shoot me down and shit. So like this destroyed my reputation. And I wrote this essay because I wanted people to read my perspective, what I went through. I wasn't allowed to talk about this when it was going on, because my lawyer's like, you got to shut the fuck up. You could cause a war, Evan, with this. And if you keep posting, you are stirring the pot. So I was quiet. And as a result, my silence, people assumed that was an indictment, that I really was faking it. And so I wrote this essay to try and sell it. Nobody wanted to publish it. Nobody even got back to me. All these newspapers, all these magazines that wrote about me and threw me under the bus weren't even fucking bother cleaning up the mess they made for me. So I published the whole thing myself on pawnmanstore.com. I also published the entire World War II book. I have the digital rights. I did it as a video. You know, it goes through the whole book. Just because hosting's expensive, it was a lot of data. So there's the essay, and then if you scroll down, you don't want to read the essay, there's the book. You can check it out. I waited a year because I wanted to see what China was going to do with it, how they were going to use it. They haven't done anything, to my knowledge, with it. They've just been sitting on it. And people keep asking, when can we see it? And it's like, hey, it's been a year. I think the time is right. Things have cooled off. Relations with the U.S. and China have gotten a little better. So I released the whole book with the essay.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've watched that video, the photo album, a few times. The Calvary book photo. It's in the top right corner of the horse.
That's
That's a beautiful picture, though. You said some of those are souvenirs, but that is a beautiful picture.
Yeah, and what's special about these souvenirs, even though they're souvenirs, Leslie G. Allen Jr., the soldier who took the photos, he like never opened that book. There must have been a lot of pain for him. And then his wife never opened it either. So what happened was he died in 1964, and then his wife just kept this book, kept it in an attic, never opened it. And the guy that I got it from, his father was a contractor who collected militaria, and that's how the lady couldn't fully pay him. So she gave him the book as payment. And so this guy had it, but I don't think he opened it, and his son didn't know. So like these photos are in incredible condition, and it's really rare, even souvenirs, to find them in this good a quality.
That's awesome.
Lake Superior starts off, and that is a mighty, mighty strong lake, and it has taken a lot of ships. But that's the way that essay starts off, and that really, because being from Michigan, we're the Great Lakes state, and obviously Superior touches you. That's a strong way to start it, and I was just in it from that point on.
Thank you. I thought my analogy of rogue waves was on point, because when I started writing it,
for sure.
What do I want to say? I got to kind of give them like a hook and like drop them into the drama like a movie, and then kind of reel it back and explain everything. And you need a good hook. How about something that relates to Minnesota? Because being on social media is like an ocean. Oh, I got it. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
And I'm actually, I can't say too much about it. I am trying to shop it as a movie. And it would be based on the essay that I wrote. Because I like with my background in screenwriting, I write everything like a movie. So the essay is like a movie. I mean, not only is it my perspective, anybody curious about what it's like to be the subject of the internet that gets picked apart, I go into that. All the mental health repercussions I suffered. I lost 25 pounds. I started drinking every night. I started doing other drugs. I suffered several mental breakdowns.
There's a part in that essay that you're talking about. You're right out in front of your shop, and that's where I don't know if you said it was a friend or the lawyer, it's someone who knew the lawyer, but they said, "Hey, man, it's
Friedberg's son that I ran into there."
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, man, it's okay to ask for some help." You know,
like I said, like I am in therapy now. This experience fucking broke my brain, and it's I don't know if I'll ever heal.
Yeah, you will. I hope you will. I hope you will, and hope.
Yeah, I mean this is another fact I picked up. I didn't used to smoke these, and I started smoking these because I was under so much motherfucking stress, and I can't quit now.
I used to smoke, drink like nobody's business, but here I am, man.
Well, Evan, I got to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be on our show. This was educational and really, it was just fun having you on the show, man. It's just great learning
100%.
from you.
If anybody in the chat does have a question, while we do have a few more minutes, type that in now or forever hold your peace. But yeah, this was fun. This is very.
While I'm sitting here, I may as well again plug my books. They're on Amazon. Yes. They're on pawn.man.store.com. That is the best place to buy stuff from me. I check the big box stores and I beat their price every day. So
the only thing that's not in the description of this video is your whatnot sale, which you are having tonight, right?
Tonight, I'm going to go running after this because I'm a big runner. So I'll probably start the show at about 9:30ish.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
Guys, buy something nice from him, guys.
Yeah, that's definitely not in the description. But if you're on the whatnot, I know somebody in here earlier said they had bought some stuff from you before. So
yeah, if you go to my TikTok or my Instagram page, there's a Linktree link. You click on that, and then there's this big thing that says download whatnot with my code. If you don't have the app, you get a free $15 once you buy something. It just takes $15 off. So come on by and get something for free. I also get $25 for referring you, so it helps me a lot too.
Hey.
Pays the bills. Here's a question. What will you be selling tonight?
Boy, we got a lot of stuff. Some really high-end silver bullion pieces, limited pieces. I have Mexican silver bullion. I mainly sell bullion and coins. Some currency. I have a few antiques at my feet. I don't do a lot of antiques and whatnot. But, I mean, it's a place to get great deals. Like, I got these Mexican onzas right here. Yeah. These are $70 wholesale, and I do starting bid $1. People were getting these last night for like $40. So we're going for all this tonight.
I see silver oceans here.
Really rare $1 gold pieces. We're doing these tonight. These are probably about $500 each. I'm gonna start them at $1.
Ooh,
yeah,
he is risky.
Rolling the dice.
Now I can't guarantee what time I'm gonna start because I'm late for almost everything I do because I'm so busy. So about 9:30 if he wants to join.
right, we got one more question for you. You got your fingers in many things right now. What's your latest project? What's your newest thing?
I don't really have one project. It's just to my God, I want to make money on social media. I work so hard and it literally costs me money. Like I got to figure out in 2024 how to properly monetize it and because like I get more views than the Super Bowl some month and I lose money. My editor is expensive for YouTube. That's where all the money goes. So I'm really hoping my YouTube audience grows and I can properly monetize this and make it so that I can hire more help and go back to having a social life because I kind of don't have one right now. You know, like I love what I do, but Jesus Christ, working 90 hours a week is a grind. I hear people being like, I work 60 hours this week. Don't get fucked.
Right. Yeah. Well, we've had a couple bullion dealers on here, and that seems to be about the going number is about 90 hours a week. Yep. So, I mean, you're not the only one out there going through the same stuff. You mentioned Tommy earlier. That guy grinds it out every single day. Every single day.
Kind of all day. Because I mean, you know, with what we do, it's expensive. As I mentioned, I started out underfunded. I'm still underfunded. I got about 10 grand working capital at any given time. That's it. So I turn shit fast. I get people coming in with 10 grand worth of stuff. That shit's got to go immediately because then I don't have money to operate. So
that's right. You just had another video about a certain diamond that you picked up that you thought that, oh man, I might have messed up.
Ooh.
But
yeah, I saw that one.
And I didn't get into the details there, but like, you know, a $5,000, $6,000 mistake for me is really, really bad for me. Right. Now, what's good is I have a lot of inventory put away. I put away all the good shit. All the really good shit I buy at a great price. That goes off-site, someplace secret. And I have basically, if I sold everything I have, I could pay off literally all my debts because I have a lot more now than 80 grand in debt. And probably walk away with about 6 figures. So, but I don't want to do that. That's not how I want to run my business. I want to keep building this stuff for later. Because right now, gold and silver are cheap. And I'm hoping 24 is the year where it breaks. Because once it breaks open, it is going to run.
That's right. We're right there.
I think. That's not a guarantee.
Thanks. We all think.
This is not investment advice. Here. That's right. Awesome, man. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. Evan, this is great.
It.
Yeah, well, man.
Appreciate it. You guys having me. You can have me on anytime. I love doing guest appearances.
I'll message you though, but I'm probably we'll talk about a couple of your books.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'll probably pick some up too. Those are pretty cool. All right, brother.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Everybody watching, y'all take care.
Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.